Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host, and today we're in luck because we're in Wichita County, just a little northeast of Leota. We're on the France family farm, and we're going to be talking to Clint and Amy France here in just a bit about their farming operation of Angus cattle, wheat, and grain sorghum. So, folks, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host, and today we're in luck because we're in Wichita County, a little northeast of Leota, and we're on the France family farm, and we have Clint and Amy with us this morning, and we have some youngsters as well, and one's running around here off over that way. But Clint, Amy, thanks for being with us, and Clint, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the operation, a little bit about the operation in the family. So take it away.
We back in when my grandfather was a kid, he went to work for a guy a mile away. His name was Barnhart, and the family all worked for him till they grew up and moved away. But my dad always stayed, and my grandfather he passed away working for Barnhart. And when Barnhart passed away, my dad had bought this place here, and he ended up letting part of that go just so we could keep this place here.
Right.
And we farm to the north of here and to the east over around Scott City. We raise wheat, Milo rotation. We run Black Angus cows, calves, and try to keep the kids as involved as we can, you know. But
Okay. Yeah, you got a bunch of, as we drove in, you got a bunch of cows I saw in the pasture there, and Annie, you are a little busy too with these two young ladies here and Jury over there somewhere. So tell us how you kind of manage these youngsters.
Well, this year is our first year homeschooling, and we just decided to try that out and keep our kids closer to home and really a first-hand experience of what farm life is and the work that you have to put into it to be successful. And so we try to get our work done first thing in the morning or as quickly as we can so that we can enjoy some afternoon off. The kids will tell you I put them to work to clean and all that good stuff. But
those are just vicious rumors, right?
Very good, just rumors. But we enjoy it. We do some projects outside, and they do the chickens and the greenhouse and the garden, and so we just keep them home.
Well, yeah, I see the greenhouse over there. They get some activities during the tomatoes during the winter time and that sort of thing. That's a good deal. And you got chickens. Who gets to get the eggs in the morning? You do, huh?
Turns.
yeah, they take turns.
Okay. Okay. So a little bit more about the cattle operation. You've got a lot of mama cows, Angus cattle.
Yeah, we run about 280 cows right now, and with the drought, we've cut back our numbers a little bit, but we'll get them back up there.
Okay. Yeah, it's been pretty serious in the last few years out in this area, and wheat yields have been inconsistent, and I've noticed the pasture as well. Here comes another farm animal up to visit us as well here. So, Clint, Amy, thanks for that little introduction here, and we've got to take a break here, so stay with us. We're going to be talking to you some more, and you folks at home, stay with.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, your host, and we're on the France family farm here in Wichita County, and we just happen to have Clint with us. So Clint, tell us a little bit about your cattle operation. I know that's a big part of the operation here. You've got a bunch of Angus cows, as we can see back here in the back, close to the homestead. So tell us a little bit about the operation, the cattle wise anyway.
Right. We run all natural cows. If we any of our calves, if we have to give them a shot for any reason, they get a tag and they get sold separately from our natural herd.
Mm-hmm. So obviously with your natural herd, you try to market where?
Yes, we do. We try to market them usually around Pratt's, a little bit better area to be for them. And anything with a shot, we just take them to the local sale barn.
Okay.
And we also market out of Oakley periodically, and but we do artificial insemination, and to a lot of our cows. We always calve in the spring. Mm-hmm. Once in a while, we'll buy a herd that might have some fall calvers, some good cows, but we incorporate them back over into the spring so we can get them down on that green grass, but we also buy some cleanup bulls from back east and what have you, and down in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And
so you're set up to breed artificially, and then obviously the ones you miss, you bring the bulls in, obviously.
Yep, okay. Nothing but the best, of course, the black one. We feed up our calves up to around 800 pounds. We'll either run them on drilled wheat in the, if we have it, and or volunteer, and then Milo stocks, and get them growed up, and then we either take them to the feedlot that can finish them out, or we will sell them.
Okay,
right around the 800.
So you're weaned about somewhere 450, 500.
Yes,
okay,
yep.
With April, you calve in March, April, or?
Yeah, usually right at the 1st of April.
Okay, because any earlier that in this neck, it's kind of chilly out here.
Yeah, it still gets a little cool.
Yeah. So you're weaning them at 450 weight, and then what do you do with them?
When we wean them, we'll bring them in here and we'll have them and get them all calmed down, make sure that they're not, they're all hot wire broke. And then we try to keep them on fields that are close to home. So if there is a storm, we can just bring them right in. We don't have to worry about them being around traffic and what have you.
Right.
So we always we'll cut our steers, our bulls, and then sort our heifers and steers apart and keep them in separate herds. Mm-hmm. And we usually keep quite a few of our heifers, usually 80 to 100 head, and we'll breed them back from another bloodline so that we can just keep our good herd going. So.
Sure. Okay. Clint, thanks for telling us a little bit about that. We'll get back to that in a second here, but stay with us. And folks, you stay with us as well, because we're going to be right back with more of That's My Farm. Thank you.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer. With us we have Clint France, and we're here in Wichita County. So, and we were talking about the beef operation a second ago, and let's continue a little bit more about that. You were talking about your natural, the ones that hadn't received antibiotic. You sell them down in Pratt. That's a good place for it. So I'm hoping you get a little bit of a premium on that, and we've got great prices right now for cattle.
Yeah, they're really shining right now, and hopefully it kind of counters for what we're not making on our grain crop, you know, and what have you. But the good part is with our operation, we have our own silage pile we put up, and oat bales, wheat straw bales, milo stalks that we grind, and corn stalks, and we can always take our corn grain or milo, and we can run it through the mill and blend it to feed it to our cattle in the pen if need be. And you know, with the price like it is on corn, it'd make more sense for me to sell my corn to myself for $5 a bushel and give it to my cattle than $3.25 at the elevator, you know.
Right, exactly. And, what about feeding? I mean, you talked about your silage, and how much feed are you running through these in the cows during the winter time here?
Those girls, they can take on a lot of feed. We usually try not to get them, you know, butterball fat. Try to just get them to survive. We don't want them to, you know, fatten up till spring, or, you know, towards the spring when they get ready to start having babies. And then we'll go ahead and give them a little extra so that they'll have the strength to have those babies. Okay,
so what are you feeding? You said you had silage.
Yeah.
And so how much silage are you going to be feeding on average per day?
Oh, you know, it kind of depends on the weather. If it's cold, and if it looks like cold snap coming on, we'll bump up the ration just a little bit so that they'll hold themselves up real well. And we always try to keep them out on grass if we can, and they graze a little bit on that grass too, you know. And we had a pretty wet spring, and the grass really finally started coming on again, and
right. After 2 or 3 years of hardly any grass at all. So hay, what kind of hay do you feed?
We put up oat hay. We try to rotate that in behind some wheat every year, and really turns out well for us, and they love that oat. They'll eat her up.
Okay. Oh yeah. What do you cut it just about heading time?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We'll swath her down, put her in round bales so they're easy to handle.
Okay. No alfalfa, no prairie hay.
Not usually.
Okay. No. Okay. Well, good deal. What about grain? I mean, I was talking silage and forage. What about grain through the year?
We'll grind a little milo or corn, depending on kind of what's priced where and what we're looking for. There's a little feedlot that'll trade my whole corn for cracked wet corn, or they'll grind corn for me, and we just kind of do a trade deal and work together on it. So.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They get to feed my cattle for me too whenever I'm done with them.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's good. Well, Clint, we've got to take a word here from our sponsors, and you folks at home, we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about the cropping operation with Clint here in just a second. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, and we have Clint France with us here in Wichita County. And obviously we've talked about the beef, and obviously now we're in the wheat field. And so, Clint, tell us a little bit about your crop rotation and maybe a little bit how it fits into your cattle operation as well. But obviously we're in a wheat field, so how'd you get to this wheat field, rotation-wise?
We used to run wheat and and summer fallow, and then we just started putting Milo in to stretch out the dollar a little more,
So you're in a wheat, row crop, fallow?
Yeah, wheat, row crop, fallow, and then back to wheat. Yes.
Okay.
And we put on a bushel wheat here, and we'll put a fence around it because it's connected to our pastures, and we have a windmill right there. We'll be able to graze the calves on this wheat, and they'll keep it down so it don't get too big and lush,
in western Kansas, using, water's pretty limited in most years, and so grazing will sure help out.
Right.
So when do you plant this then?
We normally start around the 10th of September.
For wheat pasture?
Yes. And we get her hoed in. We usually get her hoed in over here first, and then we go to our other ground that's not close to home.
Okay, and that will not be pastured.
Right.
So that'll be planted later.
Yes.
In September, 1st of October, in that range. Okay.
And where I got 3 fields here, one's we got our wheat, our Milo there, and on the other side of the Milo is volunteer wheat. And in that rotation, I always have my drilled wheat, I always have my stubble, and then I always have volunteer to come up, and the calves really do well on that rotation.
Okay, so you plant a little early here, 60-pound seeding rate, a bushel per acre. Take us what variety, and let's talk a little bit about fertility.
This is a 304, and
TAM 304.
Yep, and we put little anhydrous on in the middle of the summer, and it really shot her right up out of the ground. And we got our new air seeder, and we like it, but it tests us a lot. So we're learning as fast as it already knows everything.
You said you had your test plot.
Yes,
it tested your patience. Huh?
Yes, it did.
But you got it set right eventually.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we have grain sorghum behind us here. So tell us a little about when you plant and what kind of fertility program you have there.
We usually try to get everything planted in there about the 15th of May. And we go in, we'll knock our weeds down in our stubble that's standing from the year before, and we'll this year I put Pioneer out there, and it has really done good this year.
Okay. So it'll be planted no-till into your wheat stubble.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what kind of nitrogen rates do you use on that?
We put about 70 is what it was calling for. We use CropQuest to come up and take samples for us.
Okay. So you take soil tests how often?
When
you go to the row crop,
yes.
You take a soil test.
Yep.
Okay. When you go to the row crop.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's head back up to the house, and we want to talk to Amy about how she handles those kids around the house. So I'm kind of curious about that. So stay with us, and folks, stay with us. We're going to be talking to Amy here in just a moment, and how she's handling the kids, some of their chores. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Schroyer, and we're on the France family farm in Wichita County, Kansas. We've been talking with Clint about the farming operation, but Amy, I want to talk to you now about day-to-day activities here on the farm, and you've got a bunch of hired hands here behind us,
Yeah.
so bouncing.
That's
and
right.
kind of keeping them in line there. So tell me a little bit how you got here.
Well, when I was younger, we moved from Kansas City area over to Leota, just a few miles from here. And so I'm pretty much a city girl, and didn't know much about farming or cattle or anything.
Sure.
And so it's quite a venture. They would call me and ask me to bring things to the field and give me north, east, west, and I'd say, well, when I get to the mailbox, do I turn left or do I turn right?
As a starting point, huh?
Yeah, and I think they knew right off that it would be an adventure for sure. But it's been a learning experience, and just learning how to pack the pantry, because you can't just run to town or run to the grocery store, always looking for substitutions. But it's been fun. I couldn't imagine living back in the city again at all. The way the kids are brought up, and they get to do their chores when they don't want to, and learning responsibility and keeping their animals alive and well. And
so take us, sorry to interrupt you there, but kind of take us through, in the morning. So you homeschool. So and there's a lot of good curriculum out there for homeschooling now. So what kind of take us? They get up and I know you probably are in the classroom in the morning.
Yeah.
So kind of take us from there.
We start out and have some breakfast, do a few chores in the morning, and we get right in about 8:30 or 9. Just going.
The school bell rings.
Yeah. Or Mom says, "Let's go finally," and usually Jury goes with Clint so he can actually learn something that day.
That 2-year-old's on the move, isn't he?
He is.
Okay.
And we usually start out with Bible and devotions and get that start our day off right.
Right.
And we're usually done about 1:30 or 2, depending on interruptions. Sometimes we need to run and move people field to field and
take parts. You know where all the fields are now.
Oh no, I don't. But I try.
You get in the general area.
Yeah. In fact, one time I was taking meals to when we were harvesting, and I pulled up. I didn't even have to call Clint. I was really excited. And I get there and I start getting everything unloaded.
Oh no, I already see what's coming.
Yeah. And pretty soon they're not coming, so I called Clint and he said, "Aim, you're at the wrong field." So I was going to deliver food to the wrong field.
Wrong harvest group, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Somebody
funny.
would have been
That's
hungry.
funny.
But our day is great. There's its challenges, just like everything, but for the most part, we really enjoy having the kids with us all the time and the way it works.
Okay, so you've got chickens and you've got the greenhouse. We've got carrots from there too. So a lot, and bees. You have bees in the backyard. That's great.
A little bit of everything.
Well, Clint, Amy, I really want to thank you for taking time out, and I'm sure the kids will appreciate the little way from school this morning. So that's a good. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed hearing about your family and the family operation, and so thank you very much. And folks, thanks for staying with us on this session of That's My Farm. And next Friday we'll be back with another one of That's My Farm. So be with us. See you then.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.